Welcome back to my carpet. This is a new review of a toy I've reviewed before, but the previous review was so boring and went off on a tangent and you're probably all asleep, so I'm replacing it. This is from Takara. This is part of the Diaclone reboot line. There's the logo. There we go. I know it says diaclone. Everyone I know called it diaclone. But it's pronounced diaclone. So there we go. Now, as you can see, it appears to be a figure in a mech. Okay, with me so far? Excuse me. Now, the amazing thing about these toys is the scale of them. The figure is roughly 1/72 scale. Now, here is a charger plug, USB charger plug. I'm going to put it next to the figure just to show you the size. There's the USB port. There it is. Now, you may be thinking, so Star Trek Inner Space did figures that weenie years ago. Yes, but not as posable as this, they didn't. Believe it or not. This figure has ball-jointed shoulders, posing elbows, an ab crunch, ball-jointed hips, and posable knees. And for a figure this size, that is just mind-boggling. It is absolute. Look, there it is to my fingers. It is about an inch tall. Now, this box is the hanger mode for the vehicle. Now, Diaclone was a 1970s Japanese toy line which featured tiny little figures which fitted into transforming vehicles. And it was one of two lines seen by Hasbro in about 1984. And they bought the rights and joined them together and called them Transformers. Now, most of the original Generation 1 Autobots were Diaclone toys, just given new names, and the figures that drove them were removed, probably for safety reasons and manufacturing costs. So Hasbro decided that these were living machines, gave them all names and personalities, and the whole backstory was all invented by Hasbro. In Diaclone, they were vehicles that turned into robots that were piloted by humans. So this is the hanger mode because Takara has recently brought Diaclone back. So there is a new version of the toy that became Optimus Prime. So it looks very much like Optimus Prime, but it has a pilot in it. It's called Battle Convoy. That was his original name. But he wasn't a living robot. He was just a vehicle. But the new version is £275. So I won't be having one of them. No way. This was under a tenner. Now this is the hanger unit, hanger pod. You can actually join 3 or 4 of them together. They all open in a different way to keep it interesting. You can make like a little base with them, a bit like a container park. It splits in half like this, and inside there is this funny little geezer. I've just realised his chest plate looks a bit like a little face. Anyway, now this is tiny. This is the big mech. Now, it has a hatch here which opens, and another hatch here which opens, and the figure goes inside there. I'm going to try and do it with one hand. It is not easy. There we go. Fits in there. There we go. Now he's in. And this little robot well, this little vehicle turns into a mech. So I'm just going to pause the video and show you it transformed. And here he is. The figure looks through a little eye slit. You can see him, sort of. It's very poseable. Ball jointed shoulders, double jointed elbows, movable wrists, the opening hatch, top and bottom, ball jointed hips, jointed knees, ball jointed ankles. It comes with some accessories. A couple of guns that clip on its back, over its shoulders, and one it holds in its hand. Now, if you get enough of these, they combine into a bigger robot. The combiners in Transformers were originally diaclone toys. So I recommend this line. The figures inside are just mind-boggling. You've never seen anything so poseable and so small. The engineering involved in creating them is staggering, actually. The original figures for diaclone were the same sort of size. They had a partially die-cast metal torso and just had up shoulder and hip articulation. They had magnets on their feet so they could stick to the metal vehicles. These ones have metal studs in their feet, believe it or not. They are minuscule, but the metal studs stick onto magnets on the vehicles. So it's the other way around. But these are amazing. They're cheap. Whoop. They like to fall on their face. Very, very detailed. And they're just loads of fun. So if you're interested in things Japanese, you can't go far wrong with these. And I think it's quite, I was going to say interesting. It's not that interesting. I just like the idea that an ancient toy idea which became Transformers has now been rebooted and brought back. So check them out. If you like Japanese mechs, these are just brilliant. And worth it, just for the tiny little figure inside. So anyway, take it easy, everybody. Not a lot of good news at the moment, is there? But stay safe.